Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there who's working hard for their family each and every day. You're sacrificing for them. I salute you. Now, guys, I remember in one point of time in my life, I never thought I could have become a father or even have a home. It's crazy how life just changes in a snap of a finger, for the better or for the worse. But I remember this one time I was walking off the bus, right, from the bus stop to my home, and it was around Christmas time. I saw this family so happy greeting each other, right? Maybe it was their cousins or aunts and uncles were visiting them. They all were waiting at the door, and these people that were coming out of their car, they had a bunch of presents in their hand, and they were walking with big smiles on their faces, and everybody was running up to each other and hugging and kissing, and it really touched me here. But I started to get depressed because I told myself, I was like, bro, you will never be able to afford that, to afford a family or a home. I remember walking by them with my head down and just thinking, I was convinced I was a fucking loser, bro. I literally was convinced I was a fucking loser. And, I did post some of these tweets, what was it, yesterday, 3 photos of me working on the construction site. A lot of people telling me, like, hey, Francis, we can't do this because we don't have money like you. Hey, Francis, you're just lucky to be where you are today. A lot of us have real world problems we have to deal with. Hey, Francis, it's not fair because you have it and we don't. But guys, let me tell you something. I come from very humble beginnings, okay? I come from nothing. I come from the gutter. I come from general labor jobs. I come from minimum wage shit, okay? I'll give you more context. So the reason why I got into construction, although I'm an actual people's person, I don't like to work with tools, I like to work with people, is because what everybody told me to do. I live in Canada, there's a lot of immigrants here, so there's always new construction that's in demand. So trades actually pay really well here. So people told me, you should try plumbing. I went to this plumbing school, did all these things, and graduated, whatever, had the basics, now go look for an apprenticeship. One thing about me was this: no matter if it was the girl I wanted, the job I wanted, or even the money, at some point, I would lock off all distractions and focus on that thing that I want, and I'll eventually get it. I'll give you an example. It was impossible to get an apprenticeship in Ontario. Everybody had to fly to Alberta in the oil sands or in BC to get these apprenticeship jobs or pipe fitting jobs, okay? But me, I went door to door knocking without a car. I had to take the bus there with my resumes. Remember resumes? Is that still a thing today in 2024? I don't know. But I had to make my resume, put this apprentice, application in, knocking door to door. Up until after like 2 to 3 weeks, one company finally accepted me. All of my friends from my apprenticeship school couldn't believe it. They're like, dude, I had to fly all the way to BC to get this job. How did you do it? So that alone was like an achievement. And, after working with these guys for about 2 years, I just had it. I was their bitch. I get it. Sometimes you have to kiss ass before you can kick ass. So, part of the job was every morning at 5:30 a.m. you had to be at the shop. And I worked in industrial plumbing. So there was these long cast iron pipes, lengths of cast iron pipes, guys, okay? You had to hold at least 3 lengths of cast iron pipes. Dude, it's like almost 200 pounds to the pickup truck, load the pickup truck every morning. I had to get all their tools ready. I had to pack everything, get in there, I had to offload the truck. I was the bitch. And I don't mind. I get it. You have to kiss ass before you can kick ass. I get that part. And that wasn't my problem. But, after 2 years of doing this and working my way up the ladder, I had the balls. I finally built up the courage to ask the boss, Matt, for a raise. So one day after work, we came back to the shop. I was unloading the truck like I normally do, started to clean around the area. I went to the office. I said, hey, Matt, I think I deserve a raise here. I've been doing this, that, and the other. I've worked my way up. I know how to install this part. I was telling them things about the job that I learned and why I deserve a raise. And guys, I was selling myself short. I only wanted a $2 raise, from $16 to $18 an hour. That's how low I was setting the bar for myself. Right? And you guys have bigger potential than this as well. You have much more potential than you give yourself credit to, is what I'm trying to say here. The guy almost laughed at me. Like, he did this like this laugh and said, hey, look, we can't do that. You need to spend more time here. You need to work overtime, and then we'll see if you deserve it. He goes, or you could walk out. Now, at the time, as I said, these guys had the leverage because apprentices are bitches, right? They're a bitch. They're a donkey. They're a workhorse. He never expected me to say, all right, no problem. I'm going to walk out then. His eyes literally opened big and his mouth fucking dropped to the ground. His jaw was like that. I walked out. I told the workers, I said, hey, guys, I'm leaving, right? As they were like doing their thing in the shop, they couldn't believe it too. I remember walking down the sidewalk to the bus stop, and I was scared. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Where are you going to get your next dollar from? Now, this brings me back to Bitcoin and crypto. So I first heard of Bitcoin in 2013. Bitcoin was at about $200-$300, but I was so broke just trying to get by. I remember I was renting a fucking basement at the time, dude. Back then I was working in a chicken factory called Maple Lodge Farms, okay? I was in a slaughterhouse, bro, so you know how depressing that is. That was 12-hour shifts, rotation every week. That's a story, that's a whole different story that's going to take up all this time. But I remember, like, you know, I was like, look, let me go back to this Bitcoin thing and see what's up. You know, so looked at it, I was like, all right, cool, yeah, this looks interesting, let me see what happens. But I actually decided to go into Amazon private labeling first. Now, people, if you tell them that how you want to have an online business where you're manufacturing and sourcing products and selling it around the world, bro, they laughed at your ass. They thought that was some low life, you know, wishful thinking dreamer. You know, like this guy's dreaming. Like he needs to go out there and work in the real world and do this. That doesn't exist, right? Back then, we're talking about like this was like about 2015, right? So I said, you know what, fuck that. I'm still gonna do it. And I remember sourcing this like hammock. It was a really cool hammock. It was one of those hammocks that's like an inflatable one. You could just like open it up and get the wind around you, tie it up and twist it. And then it's like this like, you know, it's like an air hammock. It looks like a banana. I added my own customized pockets, made it a little bit different, started to market on Amazon. And you know, I didn't see no sales in the first month. Remember, this was private labeling. This was my own company's label on it. So I took pride in this. And I could have sold this company later on, like most people do with private labeling in Amazon. Anyhow, I didn't see nothing in the first month, nothing in the second month, nothing in the third month, like no sales. I was like, fuck, what am I doing here? Start to like, you know, do some more aggressive marketing, some paid AdSense, etc. Up until like around the 6th or 7th month, I started to make some sales. I made my first sale. And bro, that felt, although I was still in the negative, that felt so rewarding and fulfilling. And I remember like leaning up on the wall and like going down slowly to the bottom of the floor. I'm like, man, this shit's fucking possible. That's when I made my first dollar. And that's when it opened up my eyes to the internet and technology and global reach. So after that, I started selling 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, over 150 units per week. Had to call up the manufacturer, told them, hey, we need to bang on some more product. Guess what happens? About 2-3 days later, I got an email from Amazon saying I must stop selling this product. Why? Because somebody else made a patent on it. Bro, it sucked all the wind and life out of me. Broke my heart, literally. I was legit depressed for about, 2 months. And, from there, I had to go and find a job. So I started working in these warehouses, picking orders and cleaning the fucking floors and the conveyor belts and shit in the maintenance department. And, I did that for a good little while, started to figure out what I wanted to do, got back into crypto. Fast forward about a year and a bit later, this was about 2017 in the summertime. I said, fuck it, I'm going to get into this thing. And ironically enough, I started hearing somebody talking about 1% a day, 1% a day. You're going in crypto, right? You loan this company this money, then you're going to get 1% a day, which was BitConnect, which ended up being a scam. And, I was like, holy fuck, bro, I just can't win here in life, But I stuck with it. I knew there was a lot of good in the blockchain tech. And I started getting into pre-sales. And my first 100X was Icon. Now, hear this fucking story. I was working in this company in a warehouse that supplied Best Buy. So it was an electronic warehouse, okay? It was a storage warehouse. So they had cameras, they had PlayStations, that you name it. Any kind of electronic you could think of, they had. But they had a metal detector, so you weren't allowed to have a phone in there. You had to keep your phone in your locker. I remember when Icon came out, and nobody knew what it was going to do. It was just another project. There was an ICO for it, so initial coin offering. It's like a pre-sale. My first 100X. I was like, you know what, man, I gotta get into this. It was like 11 a.m. I'm at work. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? I don't got my phone in my pocket. So I had to tell my boss. I was like, hey, boss, I gotta go to the washroom. I'll be back. He's like, okay, go ahead. So I go to the metal detector, go to the locker, get my phone out of the locker, lock it back, go inside the damn fucking toilet stall. I'm sitting down like this, okay, pretending with my fucking pants down to my ankles, pretending I'm taking a shit. Trying to get into this damn ICO through my Ether wallet. For the people who remember my Ether wallet, trying to get into this fucking ICO, bro, okay? And, dude, I remember they were like, oh, in the Telegram chat, they were saying that how they had to delay it. So then they delayed it. They delayed that to another 2 hours. So I'm in this fucking toilet stand. I was in this toilet stall, sitting with my fucking pants and underwear down to my ankles, pretending to take a shit just to get into this pre-sale without knowing if it's going to do anything or not, if it's a scam or not. Long story short, finally got into it, pulled my pants up, went inside the freaking, onto the work site, in the warehouse. Nobody knew a thing. Turns out, 2 months later, Icon did over 100X, bro. And, dude, I realized, I'm like, motherfucker, I'm making more money doing this shit part-time than I am working here overtime. And that's where I made the full decision to quit there now. I started to save a little bit more money so I could survive like 4 or 5 months moving forward. Then I got into crypto full time, and I could get into deeper things, on the success of all the crypto stuff. And I could tell you more times where like it wasn't all rainbows and unicorns, because when that bull run happened, right later on, luckily when I quit that job, the bull run came too. So so much more opportunities happened. But also I learned that, not to hold onto your bags too long, because I remember watching this one token. I had NEO, I had a bunch of other of those tokens at the time that now came out. It was worth like 180,000 and it went all the way down to $8,000. Why? Because I held it too long. So I learned from those mistakes, and I said, you know what? I'm never going to hold on to something too long. Right? And leading up to the next bull run, that's exactly what I did in 2021. That's where I made some good ass money, literally millions. And that bull run in 2021 really changed everything, because I learned from my mistakes from the past. So what I'm trying to say here now is experience is what's going to get you to move forward. Listen to your heart. Don't listen to what other people are telling you as well. Okay, I'm not saying crypto is going to work for everyone, but it worked for me. It worked for many other people. You got to know the game that you're playing, and that's that. And obviously we could talk about BRC20s doing 500x, but I was already made it before that, and I think, I literally hit 100x, at least one 100x every year I've been in crypto. And I think with BAMK runes, that might be my next 100x this year. Didn't hit one as yet. So I just want you guys to know, man, I come from the gutter. I come from the bottom. I know how it is not to have anything, and to look at others and say, oh, look at this guy got money, and get all mad. No, it's not about that, bro. You don't know his story. You know where he started off, how hard he had it. He probably had it harder than you. So just want to put this out there, man. Happy Father's Day, man. And trust me, if you were like me thinking that how you can never have a family or afford a house, bro, you're dead fucking wrong, bro. You got so much more potential than that. Things in life changes in a split second, and it would for you too. Stick to your guns, stay true to yourself, listen to your heart, and go get it. All right? Find a niche and just crush it. Until the next one, you're on your own, bro. Later.